Today I'm going to show 5 gameplay ideas I have for The Sims 4 that I think sound really fun, and if you're feeling a bit bored with the game, maybe you can try one of these for a new challenge. So let's go into the game. The first idea I have is for an opposite Super Sim challenge. So you're basically going to make the most evil and messed up sim possible. Here's a quick look at the traits panel for what your sim might look like at the end of this challenge if you do it successfully. We have the unhappy infant trait. So Brittany had an unfortunate start to life, and then throughout her child and teen years, she ended up getting the low self-esteem trait from her low confidence level. And if you have the parenthood pack, you could unlock all of these negative traits like uncontrolled emotions, argumentative. There are so many more fun interactions you can get by unlocking the negative parenthood traits. So there's unintentionally crushed dreams. That's from the bad manners trait. There's subtly debase. I'm not sure which one that's from. And then comment on appearance. There's so many bad interactions you can do with these negative parenthood pack traits. And then what else you could do with this opposite Super Sim challenge is make your sim complete all of the aspirations under the deviance category. So this sim has completed Public Enemy, and so she got the Mastermind reward trait. She got the Chief of Mischief aspiration complete, Seeker of Secrets, and Villainous Valentine. If you have mods, then you might have even more aspirations under here. So your evil Super Sim could try to complete all of these. So you could go into the criminal career and become a boss. Or you could go into the interstellar smuggler career or the villain career, and you could have your evil Super Sim try to max out all of those evil careers. You could have them max out the mischief skill. You could also have them max out things that will be helpful in the evil careers, like they can max out the fitness skill, for example, or the logic skill, or programming, because with programming, they can hack computers. And beyond that, there are more things you can do if your sim is a celebrity. You could have your sim have the atrocious reputation, and if you're a celebrity, then you can unlock these perks if you have the bad reputation. So this one has her get an even worse reputation every time she does mischief in public. This one increases her fame the more often that she's mean, and Sims will cheer on her mean actions when she does them in public. And with this one, you can start celebrity feuds. You can also start a club. So I've made Team Evil here, and our actions are to swipe objects, to prank Sims, be mean, fight, be mischievous, and with your club perks, you can purchase the infamous club trait, and Sims will react to your club in fear when they see you. Now, this Sim is a human, but there are even more things you could do with your evil Super Sim if you have different occult packs. With the Life and Death pack that just came out, you could have your sim be an evil ghost. It can also be an evil vampire who drains Sims' life forces or makes them hallucinate or manipulates them into doing things. If you're a spellcaster, you could have them learn all of the untamed magic skills and use those on Sims. And if you really want to go all out with this evil Super Sim challenge, then you could cycle through each of the occults, like become a spellcaster, max out the untamed magic spells, and then get the Rite of Dissolution, so you're no longer a spellcaster, and then become a vampire. Do all the evil vampire stuff, get to the top of the skill tree, and then stop being a vampire, become an evil werewolf. And in some ways, I think it might be quite a difficult challenge because for me, at least, it's really hard to get the unhappy infant trait. So I might lose this challenge at the very beginning and then have to start over or make the parents have another kid and try to get the unhappy infant trait again. So I think this could be a hard challenge, especially while your sim is growing up, to get all of the negative character value traits and things like that. And then once they're older, to become a 5-star celebrity takes a lot of work, to do all of the occult skill trees and get them all in the negative or evil power category. That's also difficult. So I think this could be quite a challenging challenge, and you could have a lot of fun with it. The next gameplay idea is to pretend that your sim is in art school by using the club system from Get Together. So what I mean by that is making clubs with different classes based on different art skills. So my sim has a painting class, a music class, and a woodworking class. And the only activities I have in these classes are just the skill they're working on and to be friendly. But the club gathering has started, so I'm just pretending that this is a class, like so many things in The Sims 4. You just kind of have to pretend to make the story that you're trying to tell. But I think this is quite effective because you're working on skills. You have classmates. You can make them be your Sims' age if they're all teens or young adults or something like that. And you can adjust the club requirements so that they have to have a certain skill level, like skill level 2 plus, and then you can select the skill, or you can select their age and things like that, their trait, if you only want art lover Sims, for example. Now, your Sim can only be in 3 clubs maximum. I'm sure there's a mod somewhere out there that will change that. I don't know if there is, but there probably is. But even if you don't have mods, then I think this could still work because 3 classes, like, that can be a pretty full day if each one lasts a couple of hours. Or if you want them to have more classes, then you could just change the activities here. So instead of painting, I'll switch it to be knitting or something like that. There are so many activities you can add that are artsy. So there's acting, you can do cross stitching, knitting, dancing, singing. There's so many things. And another thing you could do with this art school idea is if you're in a museum or an art center or something, you could put like beds and things on the second floor and pretend it's your Sim's dorm room and that they're staying at this school full time. But really, it's just a museum or art center or something that your Sim is basically living at. And you could pretend that's the art school's campus. And this build doesn't really look like a classroom or a school, but you could really make each room feel like a classroom too. So I think this would be a fun idea to really immerse your Sim in different arts and really get their skills up. And they would make friends who have the same interests as them because they're all in the class together and they're all building this skill together. So I think that could be a fun idea. The next idea that I have is to have your Sim children compete. And what I mean by compete is throughout their whole lives, from when they're born until they age up into a young adult, you're going to count points. So you would need at least 2 children to do this. So if you have growing together, for example, you could count the milestones they have. Maybe this Sim had 10 milestones as an infant, and this Sim only had 8. So she would get 10 points. This Sim would only have 8 points. And then you would add up their toddler skills. Like maybe he had level 5 movement skill, but she only had level 3. And now as children, I've cheated their skills to be at random levels. So let's see who's in the lead for this. She's at 19 skill points and he's at 20. So he's a little bit ahead. But then I also look at their grades. So he's a B student, but she's an A student. And then we also have the character value traits from the Parenthood pack. So she has pretty high traits on most of them, but down here, empathy and conflict resolution, she has her traits in the red. And then his are a little bit different. He has low manners, but pretty good emotional control. Low empathy, but good conflict resolution. So basically what you would do in this challenge would be add up all of these points throughout their lives, and then once they age up into young adults, whoever won the competition with the most points, they can inherit the family's house or all of the money, and the other Sim gets nothing. I think this would work especially well if you're playing like a rich family that's really competitive and wants their kids to be the best and will kind of ignore the other kid who isn't as good. So I think you could create some pretty dramatic storylines by doing something like this, even if you don't count up points exactly like how I just said. You could still have an idea that your child or teen Sims or whatever are competing with their siblings, and then one of them will probably have a really bad relationship with their parents when they move out, but the other one might be a lot closer to them. So that could create some interesting storytelling. But the point system makes it more of like a competition and a challenge, especially if you have autonomy on, then they could kind of do some things on their own and it's more of a surprise. So then you're not really the one deciding who wins. So I think there's storytelling in this challenge idea, but also a challenge and competition aspect. So that could be a fun idea. Before I tell you about the next challenge, I just want it to be known that I was not responsible for this Sims outfit. I just loaded into her household from Manage Worlds. I am not responsible for this. But the next idea is to decide your Sim's entire life from odd jobs. So this is with island living, but there are also kind of similar things with cottage living, and I believe also the life and death pack. So if you have island living, you can go to find odd jobs on your phone. And this isn't just a way to make money. If your Sim does well on the job, sometimes they'll get friendship with the Sims that they're doing the job for. So when I say to decide everything about your Sim's life from their odd jobs, I mean all of their friendships, any romantic relationships, anything can only be from odd jobs. So then it's kind of a surprise who you meet, and you have a little bit of a story behind it too. So, for example, if I do this job for Valentina and we become best friends after it, then there's a story behind their friendship. Now, there are two types of odd jobs. The ones that say begins ASAP mean that your sim just goes off into a rabbit hole. But the ones that say needed by are ones that your sim goes and actually does themselves. And you can still gain friendships and things like that by doing the begins ASAP ones. But if you do the needed by ones, then you can have even more interaction with this odd jobs challenge idea. A rule that you could use would be that the only skills your sim is allowed to have is skills that are related to the odd jobs. So they can only have fitness, handiness, mischief. And this page reloads, I think, every day, or maybe once you do one of them, then it will refresh and add new ones. So you could have all of your Sims' skills, all of their relationships, even objects. For example, if their job is to go beach combing, then they could look for lots of seashells and things, and you could say those are the only decorations they're allowed to have in their house. However, with this one, you don't always get friendship from these jobs, so I feel like it could really be a challenge. Like, you might have to do a lot of different odd jobs to start building relationships and things like that. And then once you have those friendships unlocked, then you could go out with those Sims, like go to the bar together or the beach together and build your relationships more. So, like I said, Henford on Bagley and Ravenwood both have similar kind of odd job things that you can do. So, if I talk to the bartender sim here, I can offer to help her with errands. So, let's see, offer help with errands, and let's find out which ones Sarah has available for me. So, I could help her get ingredients for a meal, and then my rewards would be ingredients, fertilizer, and a freshly prepared meal. I could unlock a new drink recipe and build the mixology skill with this one. I could get some cross-stitch patterns and berries with this one. And with this friendly visit errand, I could even meet more friends around Henford on Bagley, because she wants me to go around asking people how they're doing. So with this challenge idea, all of the friends your Sims make could be from jobs like this, and all of the things in your house could be from jobs like this too. If you get the cross-stitch pattern, then you're allowed to work on the cross-stitching skill, but before that, you're not allowed to do that skill. So I think this could be a fun challenge. For the last idea that I have, it's a little bit simple, but I also have a way to make it more challenging. So this is a vampire here, and she has a vampire club where they use vampire powers, they drink plasma, and they fight. These are all pre-existing vampires, but you could make it be a club where your sim has created all of the other vampires in the club. I did that once in my own gameplay, and it was really fun just going all over San Myshuno with my vampires and drinking everybody's plasma, turning random Sims into vampires and stuff like that. So I think this is a fun way to do more evil gameplay. I'm so sorry, Salim. You were the first Sim I saw, so it had to be you. And we're going to turn into vampire. I'm so sorry, Salim. It's just, you were right there. I'm sorry. So like I said, that is pretty simple, but something else you can do to add on to that is to become a vampire slayer. So you could have this one club full of vampires, and then another club, or maybe just one other sim, who goes around trying to cure people of vampirism. So you have kind of a vampire versus human battle where this sim is trying to turn everybody into vampires. You have your vampire hunter trying to stop all of them. And I feel like that's kind of an underused gameplay feature because it's kind of hard to unlock. But if you have a non-vampire sim who has a really high vampire lore skill, first, you can start making things like garlic wreaths and garlic braids just to protect yourself from vampires. You can make a drink at the bar called the Vampire Resistance Cocktail, which helps you be resistant to vampire powers. And you can also make an ultimate vampire cure at the bar. So you could give that cure as a gift to the vampire sims you meet, and they just think it's a regular drink, but then they drink it and they turn into a human. Let me know if you like any of these, or if you would want me to make a Let's Play video on any of these. I kind of want to make a Let's Play on all of them, but I don't know which one to start with. So let me know what idea you think would be fun to watch. We have this vampire versus human battle. We have the everything in your Sim's life is decided by odd jobs idea. We have the children competing to be the heir to the family inheritance. We have the idea of pretending that your Sim is in an art school. And we have the evil Super Sim challenge. So let me know if you're interested in watching any of those or if you want to try any of these in your own gameplay. But thank you so much for watching. This was a really fun video to make, and I'm really excited about trying all of these ideas myself, and I hope you liked them too. So if you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe. That would make me really happy. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.